sung for us by Lana McKelly from the Wolf Tones and St. Enda Club in Derrycash. Macarjagale, Oran Nadian.
Good evening and welcome to the Athletic Grounds in Armagh for the first of this year's Tmet Intermediate Championship semi-finals between Portadown nOg and St Paul's from Lurgan. It's another perfect evening for football, and I've got Paddy Savage here from the Callihana Club in the commentary box with me, so looking forward to this one, Paddy.
Yeah, absolutely, Tony. It's a very interesting game. You have the clash of the team that's been very much flying high in the second division intermediate league, nOg, and a team that's just been relegated from the first, playing at that higher standard. But the interesting subtext to this match will be: is it better to be losing games and playing more difficult teams in Division 1, or winning games and building confidence in Division 2?
Well, we're about to find out, Paddy, as Paddy Hughes is about to throw the ball in, and away we go, and it's Gavin Cusick, but St Paul's pick it up through Phelim O'Neill. Phelim just taking his time, making space. I should also add that Andrew Murnan, who's been absent in recent weeks with a hamstring injury, has been drafted into the St Paul's team at full forward tonight, so all the big guns out in play for both teams.
That's a huge boost for St Paul's. Andrew Murnan, one of the stars of the 2009 All-Ireland winning team for Armagh. It's hard to believe that's 4 years ago this weekend. And
that's a foul on Jamie McAleen there by Ryan McCauley. From the evidence of the early minutes here, St Paul's not going to allow the nOg forwards much time on the ball.
Damien McDonald on the ball now.
One of the four McDonald brothers in the nOg team. Of course, the danger men up front for nOg, again, you would expect to be Paul Carville and Brian Mallon. Brian, who celebrates his 30th birthday today, believe it or not, so he'll be looking for a present of a place in the Intermediate Championship final. So neither team as yet able to work the ball up towards the opponent's goal. And that's Mark Davison back in his own half, the full forward. Again taking his time out to Jimmy McAleen. McAleen biding his time, short pass infield. And that's Gavin Cusick up looking for, and that's going to be a foul, and this will present perhaps Paul Carville with his first scoring opportunity.
Yes, very scoreable opportunity. This it looks possibly like Brian Mallon is going to take this.
This will be a good way to celebrate his 30th birthday if he can get on the score sheet early on. Not happy with the ball, so Brian Mallon. Where would your money be in this one, Paddy? Not particularly easy, but
no, I don't. Well, I mean, generally the bookmakers seem to think that nOg are very, very strong favourites. In fact, they're odds on to win the whole championship, never mind just tonight. But I have a sneaking suspicion that St Paul's are going to put it up to them, Tony, and that's Brian Mallon.
Brian Mallon opens the scoring.
Kicking a fine point there from a free kick. Tony, I mean, I would have a small regard for St Paul's on the basis that having a look at their league form, certainly it doesn't sound good on first glance to suggest that a team that have finished bottom of the league are maybe going to go on and do well in the championship. But it's quite interesting when you look at the results from Division 1. They had an absolutely disastrous start to the season. They lost their first 7 games in a row. the tally against them and the margin against them was ranged from 6 points to 17, and it really at one stage, I know having watched them against St Patrick's early on the season, they looked completely out of their depth in the first division. But
just a wayward passer from Jimmy McLean.
Yeah, as the season wore on, Tony, and if you look at those final 8 games, they picked up 3 victories, they picked up a draw. They beat, in fact, Mahary, who tomorrow play against Armagh-gaa, with the winner going to take the Division 1 title. So they were a team that were competitive in the second half of the season, and if we can bring that form against the Division 1 teams into this match, I think they'll go very, very close against Tyrone.
Yes, certainly no one's taking it lightly. I think in the Portadown club they had a struggle with Shane O'Neill's in the opening round, only won by a point, and they didn't finish too much in front of St Paul's in the Senior League, so certainly nobody taking anything for granted. And over the years, clashes between both these teams have been tended to be close-fought affairs.
Well, it's a local derby, Tony, you'd expect that.
So that looks like the equalising score. Yeah, that's the equalising score for St Paul's.
It's an excellent point.
Phelim O'Neill, I think. Yeah,
excellent point. Excellent point from Phelim O'Neill from distance. That's the first score from play. Of course, the last game, Tony, that we had on Armagh TV, a team playing in the same colours as Tyrone, Carrickcruppen. They went the whole 60 minutes of championship football without registering a point from play. So good to see one early on here. Yeah,
just as you mentioned, the colours, St Paul's playing the Offaly colours. That's interesting. They were formed in 1971 and apparently adopted the Offaly colours. Offaly were All Ireland champions that year, so that's where the colours come from. St Paul's one of the youngest clubs in County Armagh. So 1 point apiece in the early minutes, and we've nearly 5 minutes gone. But this is Tyrone moving forward now through Dara McKee. McKee back to Mark Davison. Short passing game here. Again, not getting too much time on the ball, but it's Brian Mallon with a chance to move forward and trying to bring Paul Carver into the game, but that ball doesn't reach anywhere near its intended target and allows St Paul's a chance to counter-attack. And this is a good strong run here, and that's a foul surely. Yes, Paddy Hughes awards the free kick to St Paul's. So again, even Stephen in the opening 5 minutes.
Yeah, interesting. The first time that Brian Mallon tried to find Paul Carville close to goal, it didn't quite work successfully. In the quarter-final against Grange, Tyrone, the tactics were very much to get the ball to Paul Carville, but they perhaps didn't manage it as often and with the quality that they would have hoped.
No, and I noticed Paul said after that game that he warned that Tyrone must take their chances better and not concede stupid goals like they did early on against Grange. So a warning there from the captain. So now Tyrone in possession again. Dara McKee, Conor McCormick. Again, that looks like Mark Davison. Davison coming very deep for the ball.
Yes, you see him. Davison, he's number 14 is back. He's
again, another wayward pass. So Tyrone will want to sort their passing out fairly quickly, I would think.
St Paul's captain Kieran Nash picked that one up.
That's Petter, and that's his brother here, Petter.
Yeah.
So evading the challenge, moving forward. That's an intelligent ball to Darren Fox. Now, can he make room for a shot? Pumps it in towards the edge of the square, and that's Andre Myrne win the ball, and there's a chance here. Oh.
Possibly some suspicion of a foot block there.
Yeah, but got away with it. It's Michael Shanks. And Shanks. Oh, wide. That was a chance missed there, certainly. And I think Tyrone will regard that as let off.
It's been a premature celebration in front of us from the St Paul supporters. But Tony, I want to say well done to Blanad McCauley, a Camogie player from St Enda's, Derry McCash, who sang this evening's national anthem. Blanad sang in last year's Scorn and Oak final for Wolf Tones and St Enda's, and just hoping to sing for a club again this year in the score competition. That's one of the as the championships draw to a close and the long nights draw in, certainly the score is something that beats in the hearts of our local Gaels up and down the county. And also congratulations to Tully Sarn, who won the Armagh Senior Camogie replay this evening by 6 points. And thanks to Leanne Martin for the update.
This is Petter Nash again. No, it's a free kick to Tyrone, and Mark Davison once again in his own half, the full forward. Again, if anything, you'd have to say St Paul's have the better of the opening exchanges.
Yeah,
Gavin Cusick.
Absolutely, and that was a very good tackle from Charlie Hart there, but couldn't quite get the possession for St Paul's.
And that's Paul McCann struggling and again loses possession.
Could have been a free there, possibly there's a foot put in as certainly probably St Paul's are a little unfortunate there not to receive the whistle from Paddy Hughes.
And it's Brian Mallon trying to make space. Mallon's certainly be a marked man tonight.
Very experienced campaigner.
Is this Paul Carville's first involvement?
Yeah, Tony Marty found him fairly well with that pass, but unfortunately he hasn't done the hand. And that'll be a St. Paul's kick over the sideline. Don't forget, folks, to get the comments in. Let us know where you're watching the game from. On the Twitter, it's at armagh-gaa. There's a comment section, www.armagh-gaa.net/armagh-TV. Let us know what you're making of the game as St. Paul's on the attack now, Tony.
Yes, good strong run. He's evaded a couple of challenges and into the square again. And Andrew Neeson, the 37-year-old goalkeeper, content that wouldn't go wide. Of course, we should say that St. Paul's have an added incentive tonight. They're not only playing in the championship semi-final, but they actually need to win this championship to retain their senior place in the senior league. So I can't think of another replica scenario than not a team playing not only to win the championship, but to retain their league status.
No, it's a very strange one, Tony. I noticed Stephen McDonnell in the crowd there in front of us, and he played his last game for Clevie last Sunday. They beat Drummond T to not quite ensure survival. It was their last game. They finished fourth from bottom. But were St. Paul's to win tonight and go on and lift the intermediate trophy, the Clevie side will be down to intermediate football next year. Interesting subtext is Phelan O'Neill. And that's an excellent score from Phelan O'Neill. Great burst forward from the midfielder, and caught that shot excellently and over the bar for a point.
And that's Phelan's second point of the game, and St. Paul's lead by 2 points to 1. So it's not really going according to the script so far. So Andrew Neeson with the kick out for nOg. Again, you'd have to say St. Paul's have had the better of the opening exchanges.
Yes, well, nOg haven't been able to get Paul Carville into the match as yet, and it was the smallest man on the pitch there for nOg. Pierce McDonald was going for the ball. He wasn't able to win it, and that's a long ball forward, and possibilities here for St. Paul's. Yes,
this high ball into the box seems to be working for St. Paul's. They're nearly always first to the balls, and again they could have had that goal a couple of minutes ago from Myrnan, but nOg now with a chance to break. Moving forward well. Again, a short passing game.
Strange situation for St. Paul's tonight, Tony, in that Andrew Murnan's playing. He's been injured for a large part of the season, and they're probably having to adapt their tactics a little to having probably their star player back.
And here's a chance here for Jimmy McAleen. No, didn't really connect.
Yeah, he attempted a very difficult skill there to try and flick the ball over his own head and the goalkeepers. But St. Paul's will be pleased now with how the first 10 minutes have developed.
Yeah.
Michael Shanks on the ball there. His pass didn't go to hand.
That's Conor McCormick. And that's seen a free kick. So again, a foul off the ball by Darren McKee has given St. Paul's another free kick.
Just of course, Tony would like to thank all our patrons on Armagh TV tonight for donating their £1. We hope that you enjoy the championship fair and the Tmet Armagh Intermediate Championship semi-final.
Niall McPartlin with a free, and that's going to end up in and around the house again. So again, touched by a St. Paul's player, but goes wide. But those long balls they're creating danger every time they go in that square, Paddy.
Absolutely, Tony. And Andrew Neeson, of course, had to pull off a very smart stop in the dying embers of the match against Grange in the quarter-final to keep his side in the championship. Yeah,
we all remember that one, sure.
And St. Paul seemed to be trying to see will the goalkeeper cope with similar tactics this evening.
No, that's McAleen, but fails to get down. Again, very tight marking by the St. Paul's defence.
And a 3 out of what I thought that doesn't seem
St. Paul's playing competently at the moment and dealing with all the threats that pour down their opposing, and not crucially giving the likes of Carver or Malin any opportunity to get on the ball at all.
Excellent break here,
Michael Shanks. That's Darren Fox. And this is the chance there, I think, if he had a turn. Oh, that's badly wide from
Ryan Gilmore there, Tony, with the effort.
Again, you get the impression every time St. Paul's attack, there's always a possibility they're attacking with more conviction than nOg at the moment, and the nOg defence are struggling to contain the St. Paul's forwards.
Yes, and strangely for a team that whose confidence should be very high after the season they've had, but in the championship matches so far, it seems nOg are struggling a little bit in the early stages.
Yeah, well, if you remember the last time, it was the purple patch either side of half-time that won the game against Grange, and as you quite rightly said earlier on, it was relied on Andrew Neeson's crucial save at the end to maintain their 3-point lead. But moving it forward now with a chance again. Now, can he pick it up? He does. An attempted pass blocked. Again, St. Paul's defence very tight, very focused, not giving the pour down men an inch there.
Yeah, St Paul's are having the better of it in there now in the early stages, in the opening 12 minutes here in the athletic grounds, Tony.
This is McAleenan. Gets the ball at the second attempt, but forced to come backwards, really. That looks like Davison again, yes. And that surely is a foul, yes. Short pass finds Mallon. And this will be again failing to release the ball or get the ball anywhere near its intended target, but this is a close-in free and will provide Portadown very fortuitously with an opportunity to level the scores.
It's interesting there, number 15, Jamie McAleenan for the nOg team, Tony here. I thought he was actually being substituted, but he's gone over to the bench to get his gloves for the game. So perhaps the moisture on the pitch is playing some small part in proceedings thus far.
Yeah. He's been lively, McAleenan, but again very closely marked, like all of the nOg forwards. And I think that's Paul Carville's first kick, Arnold's first score of the game to level the score 2 points each, and that's a scoreline that I think it flatters nOg slightly, given that St Paul's have had more of the possession.
Don't forget, folks, to get the comments in on Twitter at armagh_GAA on the Orchard County Forum, and also www.armagh-gaa.net/ArmaghTV. And just a reminder, folks, when you're watching the match here on Armagh TV, don't close your browser at this stage. You'll need to keep the browser open to ensure that everything works smoothly and the streaming continues.
So again, St Paul's finding a lot of space down the middle, and is that I think it's just off target. Yes,
just float wide. Yeah. Well, direct tactics very much being employed in the early stages here, Tony, by St Paul's, and
and if it just find their accuracy a little bit better, it could be have a significant lead. But you still would have to say that they've had the better of the opening exchanges.
Yeah, not too much wind here tonight, Tony, in the athletic grounds.
Perfect night for football.
Yeah, last Sunday afternoon we had very, very blustery conditions throughout, and that's a short kick that's gone as far as Darren McKee. Again,
moving forward with pace, but has he no one to aim it to? Again, Davison back, and that's Gavin Cusick. And that's across to one of McDonald's, Damien. Again, St Paul's a lot of men behind the ball here. I think 14 in fact behind the ball, so not willing to give nOg any space whatsoever.
No, I mean, while a lot of people don't enjoy these tactics, it's very much it's up to nOg to break them down. You know, St Paul's has set out their stall. They have the 14 men behind the ball, and nOg are going to have to be wily enough to manage to break down that blanket defence.
Well, that's wayward passing, but picked up by Conor McCormick, and evading a couple of challenges. This is good skill by McCormick, and can he get on? Well, that's a fantastic score by McCormick. Lightly built, but still managed to evade 3 or 4 challenges there before curling a lovely shot over the crossbar to give nOg a lead by 3 points to 2.
Absolutely wonderful stuff there from Conor McCormick. He certainly showed in that play that maybe sometimes the best tactic against the blanket defence is to run straight through it, Tony. Yes,
so even Stephen, and that's what we want to see. We don't want to see a team running away with it like Crossmaglen did early in the game last week.
No, I think we're much more likely to see some very a very tight affair, and perhaps 2 very tight affairs over the weekend in the intermediate championship semi-finals. I suppose over the whole the senior matches last weekend, Tony, to some extent a bit of a damp squib. We didn't really have one really tight, exciting game building up to a tense finish, but we have 2 excellent semi-finals ahead in the senior championship, and certainly going on at present we have hopefully be a great weekend of football here with the intermediate semi-finals.
Yeah, it should be, hopefully. So it's a sideline ball to nOg, and again McAleen coming deep, but this time beaten to this St Paul's man.
Very patient build-up from nOg on a lot of occasions here in the early stages.
Yeah, they're having to do it because their forwards are all tightly marked. They're having to look for movement and waiting for movement. Now, is this Carville?
Looks like it.
Rare opportunity, and Carville puts it over the bar. That's, I think, only probably a second kick of the game, so making best use of an economy of possession.
There's 2 kicks and 2 points, Tony, and he showed all his trademark class there. Out impressively in front, won the ball, kept the defender at bay with a couple of excellent toe taps and a fine score at the end of it.
Yes, it's a good, enjoyable game end to end, and I think the scoreline just flatters Tyrone slightly because certainly St Paul's had more possession, but it's all about putting the ball over the bar, Paddy.
Yeah, Niall McFarland will look to bring. Well, no, he's handed the ball to number 15, Ryan Lawless, who's going to try and reduce the deficit to the minimum.
Again, it's a lovely evening for football. I know it's culture night everywhere else, but this is as good a culture as you'll get.
And of course, more the same to come tomorrow evening as Mullaban play Madden.
Again, another closely fought affair, you would anticipate.
Yes, in fact, the two teams that will be featured tomorrow night played each other in the quarter-final of the Intermediate Championship last year, and the first game was a draw, but a substitution there, number 30
Shea Skelton. Now who's he replacing? Offering Gavin Cusick, but Lawless has kicked a fine point there from a tight enough angle out in the left-hand side, so at least just 1 point between the teams. Tyrone 4 points, St Paul's 3.
Don't forget, folks, get the comments in on Twitter at armagh_gaa and www.armagh-gaa.net/armagh-TV. We hope you're all enjoying the fair from the athletic grounds tonight.
So Neeson again with a kick out. Hasn't been called into the sort of action he was against Grange at the moment.
No goal opportunities in the early stages for either team.
Here's St Paul's breaking now.
It's Michael Shanks, I think, on the ball.
And that's going to be another foul, and this surely would be an ideal opportunity for St Paul's to level the score. Looks like Lawless again. Just sizing up the range. And routinely puts it over the bar to level the scores. That's St Paul's 4 points, Tyrone 4 points.
Yes, fine score, fine free there from Ryan Lawless, and that's us level with the athletic grounds, having played almost 20
minutes.
And interesting North Armagh derby here this evening, Tony, and as we've mentioned, St Paul's have been operating in the first division alongside St Peter's, and it's probably very much a changing of the guard in North Armagh football, particularly when you think that last weekend Armagh-gaa beat Clanagale. Clanagale will stay in Division 2 next year. Armagh-gaa will be up in Division 1 alongside Sheeran and Oak, and certainly different teams coming to the fore in the north of the county at the moment. Yeah,
I think people of my vintage certainly can't believe that Clanagale are an intermediate team and effectively in Division 2. People of my vintage can remember when they were contesting All-Ireland club finals back in the early 70s, so it just shows you how the pendulum swings.
Absolutely, and Darren Fox has swung the pendulum in favour of St Paul's there with an excellent score.
So 5 points to 4, St Paul's lead. Leeson again with a kick out. Of course, I do remember the time back in the early 80s when St Paul's would have provided 4 regulars in the Armagh team. You had Kieran McNally, former Armagh manager Jim McCorry, Dennis Seeley and Mickey MacDonald. Mickey MacDonald, uncle of golfer Rory McIlroy, won a Ulster medal with Armagh in 1982, but sadly even that momentous achievement didn't attract the attention of any female tennis players, unfortunately.
Well, he can but hope. Charlie Hart did very well to win that ball in midfield for St Paul's, but possession squandered, and Sharon Noble had a long free down the pitch, but it's St Paul's have regained possession and attack in the centre of the pitch.
A bit of a shout out here for Colin Reid of the Tyrone Club over 35s, who injured his ankle recently, but hopefully you're back on your feet and playing away in the over 35s shortly, Colin. And is that another score for St Paul's? That's 6 points to 4, St Paul's lead, so that's 2 points in succession.
Yes, fantastic score there from Michael Shanks. Angle was against him, he was a fair distance out of the pitch, but an excellent point, and that's some 4 very, very quick points for St Paul's. Tony
again turning the screw a wee bit. Again, Tyrone persisting with this short kick out to Darragh McKee. I'm not quite sure if that's the best tactic because he's immediately put under pressure.
Yes, well, it ensures possession, but when you look at the pressure that Andrew Moran's able to put the Chernoke defenders on now, you wonder if it is the profitable way to play the game. Of course, it's something that we'll see in Sunday's All-Ireland final between Dublin and Kerry. It's a tactic that Dublin are very much wedded to, but whether it reaps the same dividends at club level, I'm not quite sure. But the attack, that's Chris McDonald attacking now and that's on to Brian Mallon, I think, Tony.
Yes, Brian's moving through. Really looking now. That's a poor pass by Brian. That was a foul on Peter Nash, so it's a free kick for St Paul's. Again, both St Paul's midfielders, Phelim O'Neill, Charlie Hart, both of tall physique and really, I suppose, dominating things in midfield, and hence Turnhogue are forced to use the short kick-out option.
It's just a point of order, Tony. There's a little confusion with the St Paul's numbers at the start of the game. They certainly aren't inclined to make things easy for the commentators, and in fact number 11 is Niall McParn. It was he who got that fantastic score a couple of minutes ago. I don't think we'll be putting the St Paul's managers on a Christmas card list, Tony, given the way that Andrew Murnan, he was supposed to be wearing 16, he's wearing 14 there, but then I suppose at the end of the day they're there to manage their teams. They're not too worried about the boyos in the commentary box, I'm sure. Yeah,
if only all teams would play as selected, but that's an opportunity for hit the crossbar and gone over, I presume. Yes.
Brian Mallon, excellent score there from Brian.
It's the second score of the game, the birthday boy. Brian, of course, who won, I think Brian Mallon, Barry MacDonald and Andrew Neeson are the only survivors from the Turnhogue 2001 Intermediate Championship winning team. So
yes, and 10 years on, 2011, they reached the final and unfortunately couldn't quite do it on that occasion. They bumped into a Cullaville team that experienced 4 or 5 years of heartache beforehand and got the better on that occasion. But they'll be hoping to go one better this year, and if they continue defending like that, they'll have every opportunity, Tony.
And would you believe that there's actually 12 players starting tonight that played in that final? Now, albeit there's a numerous positional switches, but that's hard to believe that 12 players of the same team have gelled and regrouped and come back.
Yes, I mean, when we looked at the match last Friday night, the Pearse Oaks had only 8 starting from the 2012 final, Cross McLean at 10. So for Chernoke to be able to keep those players.
Brian Mallon again has equalised. He has indeed, so 2 points from Mallon brings the scores level at 6 points each.
It's worth commenting at this stage, Tony, the quality of the play that we're witnessing here tonight. You know, we've had some excellent scores from play. Brian Mallon's had 2 beauties there for Chernoke, and we had some excellent points before that from St Paul's. So certainly the quality, people maybe quibble a little with the quality in the senior championship last weekend. You certainly couldn't quibble with the quality tonight in the semi-final of the Team Intermediate Championship.
No, I should also point out on the bench tonight for Turnhogue is Paul Rocky Reid. Viewers might have remembered the last game against Grange. He was tweeting furiously from Las Vegas, so he's back from the desert city up to the coldness of Armagh on a Friday night.
I wonder which he prefers, Tony.
Well, I think if Turnhogue win here, he'd certainly prefer to be that. Looks like Mallon again. O'Connor, Conor McCormick, actually that's the second point, so the half-back making a very useful contribution here. Restores Turnhogue's league. It's Turnhogue 7, St Paul's 6.
Yes, very much a lot of scores in the last 8 minutes, Tony. On 17 minutes, Paul Carville made it 4 points to 2 to Chernoke, and on 25 minutes, it's now 6 points all. So the score, 7
points to 6
Turnhogue, man. So the scores are coming thick and fast, and all the more welcome for this Chernoke attack again here in the persona of Paul McCann.
Now, it was at this stage of the quarter-final that Turnhogue hit their purple patch, scored 3 or 4 points in a row to bring themselves back into the game against Grange. I think they would love to repeat that particular scenario this evening.
Absolutely, but that was a game, Tony, where Grange had squandered a lot of chances in the early parts of the game, and neither team are being as wasteful tonight. And very few wides. Notable this match for that there have been very few wides from either team. And Lieve Cusick, she was delighted with Conor McCormick's score early in the half. She's hoping for 1 or 2 more. Well, half her wish has already been granted, Tony, because Conor's got his second point of the game a few moments ago. And Brian White is keeping up with the Armagh Championships. He's out in Mexico. And is glad to see his own club Chernoke in action. Well, I presume that's Mexico and Central America rather than Dundalk. And we're delighted to have Brian White along with us this evening, Tony, on Armagh TV.
Yes, and this is Paul Carville attempting to shoot his 3rd point of the game. Certainly got the distance, and just drops a bit short, and St Paul's have an opportunity to clear.
Yes, at one stage that was going to sail over the crossbar, Tony. Didn't quite have the legs.
So St Paul's are wanting to level the score now just as we approach half time. That's Charlie Hart. I think that's a non-contest there between Big Charlie and Little Paul.
Yeah, but probably an unnecessary enough sort of little dump in the stomach given by Paul Chiarville. He's cost his team 13 metres there, and really very unnecessarily so.
So it's Phelim O'Neill.
Seems like an age since Phelim's 2 points opened the score.
Does
He's
indeed,
looking
but
for a third.
And this would be an opportune time to get it, just at the mouth of half time. And indeed, no, it's wide. That looked good from here, but the umpire waves away.
Well, it's a very, very contentious decision, Tony. The St Paul's players are absolutely fuming there. They're going in, they're remonstrating with the umpire. I must say, I thought it might a difficult kick to judge, given the way that it swirled off the outside of the boot. But I thought it might have been a point. And
it certainly looked like the one from Mary.
Yeah, the fact that Paddy uses in speaking to his umpire suggests he's not convinced. In fact, I think he's writing it down, and that is a score.
Yes,
and that is an absolutely fantastic point. Wasn't given the credit for initially by the umpires. Perhaps they were surprised that he'd one attempted such an audacious kick from a tight angle, and two was able actually to carry it off. But that's an absolutely superb point, and we're all level at 7 points on the athletic grounds, Tony.
Yes, with just over a minute to go to half time. Now, can someone get the upper hand and the psychological advantage of leading at half time? That's Barry McDonald. This is.
It's the only thing this game's really lacking.
Mullen again.
Tony is a goal, but it's been a thoroughly enjoyable game.
And that's Brian Mullen and characteristically shooting wide there, but still 7 points each.
Yeah, Danny McElroy, he's watching tonight. Would like to congratulate Katie under 14s on a great championship win in the athletic grounds tonight. We would certainly
endorse that one.
That opinion. Well done to Katie. They'll have been disappointed down in Katie with the result last night, and congratulations, of course, to the Hollands Armagh claiming the senior honours. But a significant degree of consolation tonight for the Katie men with their under 14s.
Here's Jamie McAleen, who hasn't got any space at all in this first half, and I see we have 1 minute of additional time.
Absolutely, I think that the 1 minute of entry time that lays it too deeply, Tony, but it's a testament to the way this game has flown and the excellent spirit.
Yes, exactly.
A minute of entry time.
Yes, I don't think the trainer's been on once for either team. So that's Conor McCormick, who's had an excellent first half.
Brian Mallon dropping deep here.
That's Johnny McGurgan, young player with great potential. And Mark Davison, who has spent more time, I think, in his own half, the full forward, than he has in St Paul's in the first half.
Absolutely, well, he's playing nowhere near the full forward line, Tony. He's very much playing out there as a third midfielder.
This is a good move if Turno can embellish it with a score to round off a tight first half. This is Carville, Jinky.
Carroll's not getting too much space there,
No,
Tony.
certainly not.
Whenever he started to toe tap there were two St Paul's players in very, very close attention to him. And that's number 12, Niall McCormick. No, in fact, it's not. It's Michael Shanks. But, he's lost possession for St Paul's, and Sharon Noble a chance to build with about 20 seconds to play.
Jimmy McAleen, but again, fumbles the ball and loses possession rather easily.
Yeah, embarrassing one there for Jamie. And he may well be punished to the full by Niall McParland. Again, number 11, but he's actually been adjudged. He was the man of possession. But he's been judged to have carried the ball too long, and Brian Mallon picks it up, and Sharon over on the attack again. And
I would say that's probably the last action of the first half, because the 1 minute additional time has been played.
Yes, I think so, Tony. And that's half time.
So half time from the athletic grounds in the first of this year's Tmet Armagh Intermediate Championships. It's all square at 7 points apiece between Turnogue and St Paul's, and everything to play for. Please join us for the second half in about 10 minutes' time. Everything to play for, and should be a very interesting second half.